Whether or not a doctor has told you you have an eating disorder doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you. If you're struggling at all, physically or mentally, you can start this recovery journey with me right now. Hello. So, I want to start making videos about how to start a recovery journey if you are struggling with eating disorders or even just like intrusive thoughts about your body and about food, and maybe you're stuck counting calories all the time, or you get anxiety when you miss a workout. Any of these things I consider a problem. I wanted to talk about this question I think we've all had in our minds before of, like, am I sick enough? Like, do I need to get better? Is there even a problem? I know for me, when I was struggling at first, I thought the problem was me. I thought the problem was my body wasn't good enough. I didn't see that the problem was actually my body image issues. My insecurities were the issue, not my body. And that led me down this very scary eating disorder experience. And even in the depths of my anorexia, when I was incredibly underweight, probably verging on death, I still didn't really see a problem, and I felt really in control and functional, so I was like, it's fine. And I would often say to myself, I'll get help when, like, I don't know what, when I can't get out of bed, when I'm fainting all the time, when I'm unable to walk. I don't know what that bar was of, oh, here's where I'm gonna get help. But it wasn't being underweight. Being underweight, I thought that was no big deal, fine. I felt great. And even though I was struggling mentally every single day, I didn't really see a problem. So how do you know if you need to get help? If you're even questioning whether or not you need help at all, if it's even like a consideration, you do need help, and you can improve. And unfortunately, when you go to the doctor, a lot of times it's, you're a little underweight, but like just up your food intake a little bit, like maybe eat a protein shake every once in a while. And unless you meet their metrics that you have an eating disorder, you may not feel that you can get the help that you deserve. If you have a severe eating disorder, you might need to go to treatment, a hospital, inpatient or outpatient, and that's perfectly fine. But if you don't need to go there, or a doctor said, nope, you're all good, there's nothing wrong with you, you can still get help, and the help can start with you. You are in charge. You can decide to start recovering. And that's what I really want to make it clear, is that we have the power to change our behaviors. For me, in my eating disorder, there were kind of what I'm dividing into like 2 stages. One, I'm gonna call like the pre-contemplation or like contemplation phase of my anorexia, where I hadn't lost any weight, but I was hating myself, hating my body, feeling guilty every time I ate. I wasn't restricting my calories yet. I wasn't over-exercising yet. I wasn't fasting or purging or anything, but I wished that I could. I wanted to. I wanted to be skinnier. I wanted to lose weight. And then there's this second phase where I was actively doing those behaviors. I was restricting my calories. I was fasting. I was purging, all of these things. So I would like to tell you, if you are in that first stage where you're just struggling with your body image so much, and you hate yourself, you feel fat every time you eat, if that's you, you're still in my group of people with an eating disorder, what I'm going to consider somebody that has an eating disorder, and you can still recover. And if you start recovering at this stage, it will be such an easier process. But if you are in that other group, you've already started restricting, you've already lost weight, you can also get help, and it will be harder. It will be harder because you're gonna have weight to gain, and that is very, very hard to process through and mentally get past. But if you are in either one of those groups, you can get help. Whether or not a doctor has told you you have an eating disorder doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you. If you're struggling at all, physically or mentally, you can start this recovery journey with me right now. If you have tried to recover, or if you're someone who says, I want to get better, I don't want to have an eating disorder, I want to get better, but you either haven't been able to recover because you just can't get past the weight gain, or you've recovered a little bit, gained weight, freaked out as soon as you saw that scale go up, and then boom, you're back into your restrictive behaviors, there is still hope. You do not have to be a slave to this forever. And the next step in recovery is accepting weight gain, because there will be weight gain if you have restricted yourself, if you've lost weight. There might not be if you're still in that pre-contemplation phase where you haven't started losing weight yet. You might not have to gain weight, but you might still need to gain weight, because the focus here is going to be getting in tune with our body and our appetite, and stop denying ourselves and stop all of these restrictive behaviors or like compensatory behaviors when we feel like we overeat. To stop those behaviors is a big part of recovery, and that requires weight gain. And it's really, really hard. I remember thinking at my lowest weight, like, I want to get better. I wish I could without gaining weight, or I wish I could just gain a little weight. Like, my ideal body was someone who is lean but fit and muscular and toned, flat stomach, those sorts of things. But at my lowest weight, I wasn't that, because I was skin and bones. I had no muscle, I had no fat, my hair was falling out. So that wasn't my ideal. So I was like, if I can just get to that ideal body, which is what I was chasing after in the first place, which is completely unrealistic. So you need to get rid of those notions. Okay, we're not gaining weight to a healthy but maybe still a little underweight level. We're not going to gain weight until we have our dream body. We're not going to gain weight until we are like a little bit uncomfortable, but like it's still manageable. We are going to gain as much weight as is needed, and that will look different for different people, and it might be way more than you are comfortable with, but it's part of the process, and it's something that we have to come to terms with. I want to ask you what you think recovery means. To me, recovery from my eating disorder meant that I was not only weight restored, but that I was also completely free from intrusive thoughts and body image issues. And now I can say that that is true. It doesn't mean I love every aspect about myself. It doesn't mean that I don't have bad days where I feel like I weigh more than I should. I do still have those moments and those thoughts, but they aren't pounding in my brain, making me want to just crawl into a hole and crumble. They're just there, and I can see them coming into my body, and I'm like, okay, they're there. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do anything about it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna let it derail my day. To me, that is recovery. And let me tell you, that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And gaining weight comes first. Gaining weight is the first step. Being okay with that weight gain and losing those insecurities is the second step. But we have to first gain the weight, or stop the restrictive behaviors, or stop wanting to have those behaviors. We have to do that before we are going to be in a place where we can free ourselves of these insecurities. Another thing I want to say is, if you are actively engaging in disordered eating behaviors, or you are underweight, or even if you are at a healthy weight and you struggle with like body dysmorphia and you feel like, oh, my arms are really big, or like, oh, like my fat rolls, or like my cellulite, it's like unbearable. That comes with low insight into a problem. You think the problem is you. You don't think that all of those thoughts are the problem, because those are just normal to you. That's your everyday life, so you think that's normal, my body is the problem. Accepting that actually those are disordered thoughts, that is not who we are, that is our eating disorder talking, that's our body dysmorphia talking. Accepting that that is not us is hard, but it is going to make all the difference in a recovery journey. You have to stop telling yourself that you are the problem. And hopefully you join me on this journey to recovery. I'm just a normal person. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a normal person that has struggled with this and has luckily come on the other side of it after years. And it's a long, long journey. But I want to be there for you. I want to help and support you through this. Again, I'm a new YouTuber. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you've watched me ramble for this long, thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you guys again.